He is Odysseus, who has spent more than half of his life fighting for his people. After 20 years of battle after battle, he finally returns to his land. A land now ruled by his son Telemachus, who has never met his father and faces a difficult situation. The line of suitors seeking to marry his mother and usurp the throne is extensive. Although he would like to confront them, Telemachus is more diplomatic than a warrior. They are gentle words to say that he is a coward, incapable of wielding a sword to defend what belongs to him by right of blood. 4 years he has ruled with a soft hand, and the problems have accumulated to the point where the nobles are losing patience with his leadership. Queen Penelope prays every day for her husband's return, but with no news in over 20 years. She can only cling to hope and the promises he made to her before leaving. One morning, Yuri, the youngest and strongest in the village, challenges Telemachus to a fight for the throne. Even though he's not noble and the fight wouldn't be legitimate, he just wants to humiliate the king, who tries to resolve the conflict through dialogue. Then Antinous shows up and intervenes. He's a rich tailor who calms Yuri with some coins. Then he reaches Telemachus to warn him that soon there will be no one to stop the usurpers. Every day the nobles gather in the common hall and talk about his incompetence. Soon the words will turn into threats and someone might cross the line and murder him. That would leave his mother defenseless. They must make a decision soon for the good of both. The young man knows Antinous and knows he is a decent man. He seeks approval to marry his mother, arguing that it is best for the throne. They cannot allow it to fall into the wrong hands. Telemachus promises him that he will think about it and withdraws. Later, he talks to his mother, who can no longer leave the castle. Every time she visits the market, she is harassed by dozens of men who won't leave her alone, so she has taken refuge in her room with her loom. Telemachus talks to her about Antinous' proposal, and she replies that she'll decide only when she finishes the loom she's been working on 4 years. Nevertheless, she admits that Antinous has been a good friend for years. He was the one who gave her the loom and provides all the wool she needs. Additionally, he is a respectful man unlike the rest, which is why he would be the best candidate. However, she still clings to the hope that her husband will return and keeps her word. When I finish the loom, I will make my decision. Meanwhile, a poor fisherman finds Odysseus on the shore of his beach. The man is almost dead, so he carries him to his house, where he tends to his wounds. His name is Humio, and although he doesn't have much, he doesn't think twice about spending his resources to save a life. A philosophy not shared by Hippolytus, who argues with him for spending the little they have on a complete stranger. However, as long as Humio remains the owner of the house, Hippolytus and Pelito must keep their opinions to themselves, as they reside under his roof. Is it his medicine? And if the gods have put this man in his path, who is he to refuse their will? First, he'll save this man's life and then help him fulfill his destiny. Hippolytus leaves furious, calling him craven. They have been hungry for days, and he decides to spend his food on a nobody who will surely die no matter what he does. To everyone's surprise, when night falls, Odysseus wakes up and tells them about the battles he had against the Trojans, months that turned into years, destroying towns and killing their people. Now he is the last one left of those who went. He is a broken man, but not as weak as Hippolytus thinks. He tells him no one there remembers him, so no one will respect him, especially seeing him like that. The best thing he could have done was die at sea. Perhaps that way he would have attracted fish, and they would still have the medicines that Humio spent saving his life. Every night, Penelope enters the loom room and destroys the work she did that day. It's her strategy to gain more time that allows her to keep telling her suitors that she will make a decision when she finishes it. One morning, Telemachus visits his grandfather to ask him to return to the castle and help him take the reins of the city. But the old man could not be more useless. His mind has already succumbed to dementia, so it would be a mistake to entrust him with the fate of anything. With the promise of finding news about his father, Telemachus borrows a boat and sets off following the route his father took so many years ago. The young man leaves without his mother's blessing, desperate about the current situation. Penelope finds out too late. Her son is gone. Antinous explains the purpose of the journey and offers his help, but only if she accepts it. Antinous acts with respect, aware that Penelope is a firm and tenacious woman who will not succumb to the methods employed by her rivals. However, he does not rule out the idea of killing Telemachus when the right moment comes. After all, he is a calculating man who did not achieve nobility, treating everyone with the same respect he shows towards her. A few days later, the news of Odysseus' father's death spreads across the island. Odysseus attends the funeral from a safe distance. He is not yet ready to reveal himself to his people. He will wait until he has the necessary strength to face the usurpers of the throne. When he sees his wife in the distance, every fiber of his being longs to embrace her. But a group of men appears. They are the suitors who demand that Penelope make a decision. They argue that this will not only save their son's life, but also give hope to the people, as no one believes that Telemachus has the courage to lead. Their patience is running out, and rumors claim that Telemachus has fled, abandoning his mother. This means the throne is available to anyone who decides to take it. However, she stands firm, reminding them that she is still the queen and they must respect her. She promises to choose a husband when she finishes her loom project, which she plans to use at her wedding and is nearly done. Upon hearing this, Odysseus returns to the castle, but no one recognizes him except his dog Argos. He identifies his old master and welcomes him, but sadly dies seconds later. Argos's only mission before dying was to see his master once more. Odysseus enters the common room of his castle, but hides his identity. He walks around and asks for food, claiming to be an old soldier from the Trojan War. The men present mock the old man and throw food and wine in his face, then force him to fight against an opponent 3 times his weight. Despite the disadvantage, Odysseus kills the giant with a single blow. He leaves disappointed to see what it has become. His home is a cradle of drunkards and drunken nobles who have lost their sense of duty. But before leaving, Penelope appears and invites him to stay, ordering her old maid to attend to him during the night. While the maid gives Odysseus a bath, she recognizes a scar on his leg. Immediately, she calls his name and he grabs her neck, choking her to death. Meanwhile, Penelope breaks down thinking she only has a few days of freedom left and destroys the loom. The days pass quickly. Telemachus returns empty-handed, confirming his inability for any task. Penelope warns him to leave or his life will be in danger. At that moment, Antinous presents a formal marriage proposal and it seems that Penelope might accept it. Additionally, Telemachus leaves the castle. Antinous orders his men to capture him, but he's already gone and with Eumeo seeking help to escape. Eumeo is the only one with a boat in good condition. For a moment, Telemachus and his father exchange glances, but don't recognize each other. In the village, Telemachus' friends are tortured for information. Yuri, following Antinous' orders, leads the search with hunting dogs to find the young man. Unaware of the danger that lurks, Telemachus is about to naively welcome 2 men who appear looking for him, when Odysseus knocks him out with a blow. The men attack upon seeing this, and Odysseus is forced to kill them to protect his son's life before the others arrive. They all escape into the forest and cross a waterfall to throw off the dogs. Back in the city, Antinous discovers Penelope undoing the loom. His threat is clear. If she does not agree to marry him, her son will pay with his life. The next morning, Penelope summons all the suitors and announces to them that she will not be the one to make the decision. The gods will choose for her. She takes her husband's bow and places 20 figures on a rock. He declares that the man who manages to pass through the 20 hollow figures without knocking any down will be the rightful heir to the throne. The test begins, and many of the men can't even draw the bow, much less aim accurately. To everyone's surprise, Odysseus appears and requests the queen's permission to try. Penelope agrees, takes the bow and, knowing its secret, warms the frame with the fire from the hole before stringing it effortlessly, a technique only the owner of the weapon would know. Without hesitation, Odysseus takes an arrow and shoots. The arrow flies through the air, passing through all the figures without knocking any down, proving he is chosen by the gods to be king. However, this test does not convince the others, who demand his departure. It's clear that no matter whom Penelope chooses, the others will attack her, as they all believe they deserve the throne. Before they can attack him, Odysseus grabs the quiver and prepares for battle, shooting accurate arrows at the hearts of his opponents. He shouts to Telemachus to get his mother to safety, but he, finally determined to be useful, stays to fight alongside his father. While Odysseus cuts down everyone present with sword in hand, Antinous surrenders and pleads for mercy to his majesty. Penelope is willing to forgive him, but Telemachus refuses and kills him in front of everyone. After eliminating all the traitors, he lets his father reclaim the throne while he sets sail to the sea, promising to return as a man worthy of inheriting the kingdom when the time comes. And that's how this great movie ends. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and thanks for